What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. We got a lot to talk about today, 2 characters, and if there's anything else in this Epic 7 update preview, we'll go ahead and give it a look. But thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, let's get started because there's so much we have to discuss. Alright, so what do we got in this 1-minute summary? I know Hellion Lua, which, if you weren't aware, we knew the kit previously. Wow, S3 animation looks great. Well, let's skip through this so we'll watch the individual videos respectively, but we have a 5-star RGB on the Covenant banner, and then Hellion Lua, of course, will be from the Mystic banner. And then they also have this school. There's gonna be a Moonlight Theater, I think a side story, a lot of stuff for this new kind of school system. The Masquerade Ball as well for Schniel, side story. Hollow Trials new boss, Death Dealer Ray. Okay. Guild War, blah blah blah. And then an Ida and Ray ran, and then Schniel on the 14th, November 14th, and then Hellion Lua this week right after maintenance. So there will be maintenance this week. And I guess that's it. The content for this week, guys, will pretty much be the 2 heroes. So let's go ahead and jump straight into, we'll talk about Hellion Lua first and then Schniel right after. Alrighty, y'all, I got the Hellion Lua preview locked and loaded. Let's go ahead and check it out together.
Well, let me see if I can't change your mind. You don't like me? Well, let me see if I can't change your mind.
Okay.
So annoying.
I'll talk about what I think about this in just a second.
This is Lua, a cute and charming high school girl. Due to her captivating, cheerful
It's a little
personality
concept art.
and her caring nature, she will almost always be found surrounded by company.
Okay, popular
However,
kid.
The persona she presents at school is nothing but a facade. In truth, she is the only daughter of the leader of the
Ooh,
largest gang
that expression.
in Nata Prefecture, the Kumi clan.
Tokyo
Hiding her dark
Revengers.
intentions, Lua controls everything at Gon High School through her trusted subordinates.
The high school gang leader.
While
Okay,
she does
secretly
win
running
over
the
Tate,
school.
The final chess piece she needs for her schemes. Her plans start to fall apart when Auden transfers.
Okay,
to
so
the
Auden's
same
gonna
school
save the
to
day, and
pursue
Taeyu's
her.
there as well. Yeah, we were talking about in the patch preview, right? We'll take over from here that there's gonna be like that school side story thing going on, and then Hellion Lua as well. Much more than meets the eye, right, in terms of what she is. But in general, let me know what you guys think of the whole school thing. It's a brand new way to bring in additional characters. Never been my favorite archetype. It is in a lot of anime, so I'll watch it if the anime is good, but it's never been my favorite. As well as Lua has never been my favorite character, and I know a lot of people had some gripes with her design and all that. It doesn't even look like Lua, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments overall, just visually. And then let's go ahead and discuss her kit right now. So we got a Dark Ranger Pisces with health and effectiveness, and we did see her skill kit, and it is a much more, I would even say, like turn 2 defensive unit, right? Which I was not expecting from a Ranger, let alone a Ranger based off of Lua, who is more of like, you know, seen in like cleave, aggressive, archetypes like that. So let's go and check this out here. We have Lua's Challenge, which does a 100% chance to provoke after skill enhancements. Defense up, right? So very, very defensive. And then Challenge itself, after counterattacking when the target is hero, deals additional damage equivalent to 8% of the target's max health. Okay. So you get Challenge, and then if the challenger counterattacks, right? I'm assuming we deal 8%, an additional 8%. And the bear also gets speed up. Okay. We'll see how that works. This is obviously a brand new mechanic, but it involves counterattacking, provoking, and increased defense, right? So very, very tanky, and a very, you want to hit back. You want to be the reactor, not the proactive kind of player in this regard. So definitely my kind of unit, but yeah, additionally we can soul burn for 20 souls, which is very, very powerful. Let's go ahead and check out the animation again real quick. Where do we got it? Right here. Okay. You even have this this section where she's she's on a live stream or something to a dance. So it's a cool animation. All right. Lua Squad, the passive. After being attacked by hero, increases combat readiness of all allies by 7% and makes all allies granted challenge counterattack. Okay, so we don't necessarily need counterattack set because I think that'd be kind of awkward. I'm assuming you could combo the two, right? But Lua now has a way. Correct me if I'm. As we read through this, we'll kind of learn it together, guys. But this is a brand new mechanic. So if I get anything incorrect, hopefully I'll catch it. Otherwise, you guys let me know as always. But yeah, she has a way to give, because we want to proc counterattacks while we're under challenge to get that additional speed and 8% health damage. And now we have a way, right? We have a provoke that we can ignore effect resist or just build a ton of effectiveness. And then additionally, we increase combat readiness and then grant counterattack to all the allies, right? So it kind of just leads into itself. Very synergistic with the skill 3. You provoke, and then we get challenge on our allies, and then the provoke target will hit us, which will give all the units that have challenge counter attack. All right, let's go ahead and see this in action so we can kind of put it together here one by one. Let's go slower. Let's see. Okay, so we have the Conqueror Lilius, right? Had provoke, and then it kind of just grants all the units that have challenge. They counterattack. All right, so that could be super powerful. Look at Melissa there. And then we have an additional provoke here, which also is a 100% chance to provoke. Okay, so a very I thought there was gonna be a little bit more, but yeah, once again, I didn't really fully. I wanted to wait for the official video, but yeah, the skill 1 is super basic. The skill 2 passive, I would say, is essentially basic if we don't count that it's a brand new mechanic. And then the skill 3 is kind of where it gets, you know, there's a lot of effects going on, but even that is pretty simple with the whole challenge, debuff, ignore ER, blah, blah, blah. So pretty cool kit. I really like this, but I will say right now, you know what, hold on, let me hold my thoughts. Let's go ahead and let the not patch preview, but let's watch the lobby animation, and then I want to talk about just what I think about Hellion Lua, if you should pull, not pull, at least just initial impressions. While we watch the gameplay, right? So the two-faced mastermind, she was ironing her hair, then takes some selfies. Okay. I could see a lot of people really liking this. Her aesthetic, I mean. In terms of her kit, though, this is what I want to talk with y'all about. And before I do, sorry for I keep cutting my own thoughts off, but I want to see this real fast. So she's actually on the like artifact, I believe, glow wings. So we proc provoke on everybody, right? And that in turn, after the skill 3, everyone had challenge, and now they counterattack, and they're doing a counterattack plus 8% additional damage. You see that additional proc there, right? Okay, so we use her as an opener, so we have some defense up. So she's like a crowd controller via provoke, and really supports all allies in terms of survivability with that defense, the speed up, and then what else was it? Wait, I think is it defense up only for her? Let me double check that real quick here, because I only see it on her. Yeah, okay, it is just defense up for just herself. I might have mentioned that was for everybody, but yeah, okay. So yeah, you provoke, you provide those counterattacks that challenge, and then for units that typically don't have counter set on or can't counter just like inherently, we give them that ability. So you know what, this may not be specifically just like a slow playstyle like initially thought, because we can sort of, if we build her fast, we can kind of initiate a very aggressive comp. Like, and you see the left here, this is definitely not a tanky, what do you call it, like tanky sort of lineup. Instead, we use these units that you typically see in Cleave, and we give them abilities to counterattack when the Lua works, which she should be able to because of that soul burn effect. Just make sure you either have 20 souls, or like I think they're stacking some ranger artifacts to have that ability on top of it. But other than that, very, very cool. I could see her working as well, not just in these kind of aggressive setups here with these very high damage units, but if you build her super tanky as well, additionally with that defense up, she could be a crowd controller that really kind of sets up powerful units that have like either strong skill 1s or kind of even just enabling that sort of counterattack unit. Maybe since a lot of people are building base speed things, especially with Harsetti on play, I could see some crazy stuff coming out from there. But overall, guys, I honestly don't think in general that she's a must pull, which is a good thing, because lately this year, the Moonlight 5s, look at Luna, Ilinov, Senya, a lot of these units, Harsetti, have been absolutely amazing, either just broken themselves or like kind of meta shifters. I think Lua has a lot of potential. There's so much that I want to see. I think she can work in multiple play styles, both slow and fast, both as an opener, maybe as a opener for slow units, opener for fast units like this squad that Smiley is showing. A lot of different things I think you can do with her. in terms of builds and team compositions. But I think overall her game plan is very straightforward. It's really who you bring with her that'll make, you know, the difference on how we use Hellion Lua. But overall, yeah, I don't think she's a must pull just yet. If, as always, just wait for people like myself. If I'm lucky enough to pull her, I'm definitely not wailing out for this unit. So if we don't get her, unfortunately, I can't test her. But yeah, wait for other people to test her, and we'll see how strong she ends up being. But I don't want to spend too long on this because we're going to go ahead and check out Schniel, which I have no idea what his kit is like. Okay, guys, straight into it. The Schniel Preview. Let's check it out.
It's time for me to get back to it. I've been putting off all this paper.
Curious to see what you guys think about Schniel.
Seems there's nowhere
So an
left to
Earth
run.
Soul Weaver. We definitely have a few of
the
those
king
already.
Lafundos is a man who seems to have transcended the very concept of desire. Even though he was next in line to the throne since a young age, he was never interested in authority, and instead devoted his time to come up with ways to improve the lives of the less fortunate.
Okay.
When he ascended
Very
the
benevolent
throne
character.
3 years ago, his people would often refer to him as the king who knew how to look below, and were anticipating his evolution into the new Sage King. But instead, he vanished, leaving behind his abdication letter simply stating, "I quit." And thus, Lafundos' royal court was thrown into absolute disarray.
Based. All right.
Schniel
So we finally get Schniel, the mischievous, playful king of Lafundos. We'll take over from here. 117 base speed, but we got an Earth Soul Weaver of Taurus with attack, imprint, and health. 30% ER base. Okay. Let's go and see what he's all about. I have no clue what I'm going to be looking at here, but it looks like we're leading off with the passive. I know a thing about poison. Okay, interesting. Increases max health by 10% passively. After an enemy uses a skill when an ally is inflicted with poison or venom, dispel. Dispels all debuffs from the caster and activates Cleanse. It can only be activated once every 2 turns. Cleanse dispels all debuffs from all allies and grants immunity for 1 turn before resetting skill cooldowns of the caster. Okay, so we have an automatic Cleanse, which dispels all debuffs from all allies and grants immunity when an ally is inflicted with poison or venom. Interesting. Okay, so we dispel all debuffs and grants immunity. So I know who this is catered to fight against, right? Death Dealer Ray. I'm going to double check exactly when the abilities and all that proc, but I think this is definitely the DD Ray counter, right? Okay, so I know a thing about poison. There will be a lot more applications for this, but that should be the main one since he is a very, very problematic unit to fight against at the moment. We can now have another counter pick option that will auto dispel and grants immunity. Okay, very cool. Also resetting skill cooldowns of the caster as well. Let's go ahead and see in the display. Yep. All right, so it should work, right? I'm assuming off his sleep.
Cleanse dispels all
Oh, excuse me. Let me mute that. Skill 3 off the Death Dealer Ray, which does the Venom plus, right? The Venom plus the sleep. Very problematic because the skill 1 or Pestilence should proc immediately, meaning it'd be very hard to... I'm not sure if that would work since it's immediate, but either way, off the skill 3, which is really the main problem part, right? Similar to Moon Bunny, since he takes the extra turn, instead this is procced off the Venom ability. We have that Cleanse, which is very, very cool. Additionally, you may walk yourself out. Skill 3, attacks all enemies, increases defense of all allies. I think defense up, guys, is so strong for the people that like to play a little more defensively. It's not on that many units, although we just talked about another unit that has self-defense up. You have units like Ocean Breeze Lulika, and then some other units now. You have like units that give defense, kind of like Imperial Inulanov. But any unit that has increased defense for all allies, I think, is really, really, really powerful. And this is an attack as well, which increases combat readiness. Fixed damage, 4,000. And then increase fixed damage by 4,000 every time the skill is used, stacking up to 2 times. Okay, so a kind of pseudo... he's a Soul Weaver that I'm assuming he's not going to have a direct heal unless the skill 1 has one. I doubt it. But we have some damage that can actually stack up to 8,000, I believe. Is that the 2 times? I don't know if you count the initial plus 2. I think it's 8,000 total, but we'll find out together. Yeah, so we have a lot of fixed damage, especially the longer the match goes. Okay. As well as combat readiness. So let's go ahead and see that. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. I want to see what they're using it against and how this works in general. So he pops off with his pen, magical pen, whatever that was, and it kind of blows up. 6,000 fixed damage, I'm assuming because of things like Aureus in effect here. So that was probably the, let's see, 6,400 proc. And then 13k, yeah, from the Aureus damage share there. That's quite a bit. And then we're using a very, very tanky setup here. And then skill 1 attacks enemy and dispels 1 debuff from an ally. Okay, so yeah, no actual direct healing. We can get that via artifacts if we want. But otherwise, he's more of a utility against Death Dealer Ray. So in case you don't want to use Moon Bunny or you want 2 units to really trap things like Death Dealer Ray. And remember, there's other Venom units in the game. This is just going to be the primary one, right? I think it was Poison and Venom. But S1 dispel a debuff from an ally, and then we can soul burn that to dispel all debuffs, which is kind of cool. Maybe we can use them into other comps potentially, or you really want to have that proc. You really only are going to use them against those kind of units so that we can proc the cleanse. But in general, we have additional ways to dispel a debuff from all allies in case there's other problematic, debuff control comps we are fighting. So let's go ahead and see what they're showcasing here. And then we'll kind of just talk shop. Oh, the artifact too. We got to talk about the artifact. What do we got here? So homage to Tarman. Let's read the max ability. After an ally is attacked, when the damage suffered is equivalent to 25% or more of max health. Grants a barrier to the target for 2 turns. Okay, so it's like a Guardian Ice Crystals, but instead of a heal, it does a barrier. I'll have to check like how much this gives since it's 20% of the caster's max health. But I'm not sure if this is going to be straight up like better potentially than like a heal. There's different benefits to barriers versus raw healing, but in general, I think I'm still going to like Guardian Ice Crystals in general because also it gives some stats, effect resist on top of it. But yeah, anyone that wants to do the math already, let me know if this has potential to be used other artifacts like that. In general, though, Soul Weavers have a lot of room, especially since this doesn't seem like it's going to be a super like meta-defining artifact by any means. Just a cool effect with a barrier survivability. You have a lot of room for flexibility being a Soul Weaver, okay? Very, very team utility-oriented artifact. So, yeah, don't worry too much about that one unless the barrier, 20% if we can stack a ton of health maybe. Or maybe some other Soul Weavers can make use of that. The barrier, 20% of the max health barrier could be huge. But in general, I think like Ice Crystals is still very, very strong. Is it a once per turn? Once per turn. Can only be activated once per turn. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and let this play out, and we'll talk shop real quick. So, we have the Schniel. I'm assuming he's using his own artifact. We have fixed damage on his skill 3, defense up for the squad. And then also, for things like Arena, the Ray will automatically proc our cleanse. For units like AOL 2, we have things like a cleanse on skill 1, AoE cleanse on soul burn, things like that. So very, very cool effects to get rid of stuff even when silenced. What else do we have here? So only the in Arena AI will the cleanse proc here, guys. But that will mean like if you ever use like units like Moon Bunny, that your opponent will most likely have to hold their ability here. So in terms of Ray, he'll only be able to press like the skill 1, maybe skill 2. I need to check if the let me know guys in the comments if the cleanse will proc off the skill 2 pestilence. I think it doesn't apply the venom and then detonate immediately, but we'll see here. I think we could get some procs on cleanse, but I'll have to go ahead and check out DD Ray's skills again, reread them, and see how the interaction will work. Unless they can maybe show us here with the Pestilence. The problem is we already got the proc, we have the immunity, so we're not going to see a lot of debuffs. By the way, guys, this Afternoon Soak Flan has been a huge meta unit. This girl is a problem. She's unethical. If you haven't been by my live streams and want to fight her as a slower player, I've been on like 10+ win streaks up near Emperor, or fighting Emperors. Using units like Tanky Solitaria, and I think this week we're going to try things like Pillis. So if you have trouble fighting her, go and stop by. We can help you out with that. So the Venom is on the ability here, and then the Schniel does proc. So as long as it's not from the Ray exploding it, right? Yeah, the Pestilence from our allies will proc our Schniel ability too. So that's a benefit above Moon Bunny. All right, very cool. So a huge anti-ray counter that does some damage, has defense up, and a lot of other effects. Since a lot of people will be grabbing Ray, guys from Headhunt and things like that, arguably one of the strongest units, it's nice to see a direct counter to him. So there it is. There's our answer. Schniel, pick up a copy for sure. The artifact, we'll wait to see how good it is numerically. But yeah, if you play RTA Arena, there's going to be so many Rays around, you're going to want to get this unit, even if you already have units like Moon Bunny. All right, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, everybody.